it's like wrestlers. You have to
Hmm.
get down to a certain weight if you want to be able to compete in that class, and if you really want a shot at winning. And then
Yeah.
after the pageant, you can continue resuming the diet you had before, and you can come back to healthy weight. But you have to have that cognitive switch and that clarification within yourself that if you're going to be losing that weight, it's because you're getting into fighting shape, and it's not
Mm.
you that is fat. It's you as a competitor that needs to get down to a physique in which you need to play that game in order to really be competitive in that specific, specialized niche period of time in your life. When I believed that it would work, I felt better. So the power of belief, I think there's a lot of undiscovered connections between the mind and the body that I'm excited to see the research on, because I think
Oh,
that's something I can
100%.
share.
I mean, I talk about it in my book, our beliefs, our thought, our mindsets, because that's the filter we use to actually evaluate the world around us. And as we start to believe something or think something, we're then going to start to develop some emotions behind that. And those emotions actually have biochemical mediators. Like if you get scared all of a sudden, if you think that, a saber-toothed tiger is behind you, you're going to start developing hormones of stress and fear, cortisol, epinephrine, and that's going to lower your immune system. That's going to increase inflammation. But on the flip side, the emotions of love, of gratitude, of connection, that emotion actually has biochemical signals that do the exact same thing, and that actually helps you heal. So amazing that you felt that after your Reiki session.
Yeah, I mean, I also realized that my logical brain was starting to like talk against my emotional brain. Like my logical brain was like, "Oh, this is not going to work. There's no science behind this. This is all about belief." And then my emotional brain said, "Well, sure. If even if you believe that you're here now, what's the harm in believing it?" So then,
Mhm.
like, slowly my emotional brain talked to my logical brain, and my logical brain was able to suspend relief, was able to suspend belief for relief ultimately. And
Yeah.
it was something for my back, and my back stopped hurting after that. It eventually came back, but it was a really interesting, interesting epiphany that I had, which is, oh, if you believe something, like if you truly, truly believe something, there's there's some dark matter that is affected by that, which then makes certain things happen. Yeah, I don't know.
No, you're right on 100%. There's an author that writes a book called The Biology of Belief, and he talks about just that, how our thoughts leads to our emotions, then actually have biochemical changes in our body. And I believe that to be true. We have different energies: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. All those are actually in harmony with each other. And sometimes when your physical body is off, think about ways of like increasing your emotional health, or like not thinking about yourself and thinking about belonging and serving other people. All of a sudden you start to feel better. All of a sudden you start to stand up taller. So all these things are actually in resonance with each other at all times. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it actually
Yeah.
reminds me of how in Asia they don't tell anyone with a terminal illness that they are ill. They
Mm,
tell the family around them.
yeah.
And I learned this in an ethics class in college, and I thought it was fascinating because the American and Western perspective is how cruel and how inhumane is it to tell a 75-year-old grandmother that she is sick, but not that she has stage 4 cancer. Whereas in Asia, it's considered cruel to tell her that she does have cancer, because they believe that if you tell the patient that they're going to die, that will expedite their death, because they will know it and they'll give up. So it's fascinating. Yeah, it's like
It is a
the movie The
fascinating
Farewell.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with the way people treat chronic disease here. People say, I have diabetes or I am depressed, and there's something to that statement that makes it so that this is a part of you, and it's not something that you can change. I once had symptoms of diabetes because I did not live life in a way that was most in alignment with who I was. But understanding that diabetes or high blood pressure or this symptom is not you, and it could be figured out once you figure out who you are and how to kind of live like our big source or universe designed us to live. We can make those changes. And once you do make those changes, suddenly I'm off pills of diabetes. I don't have diabetes anymore. I don't have high blood pressure anymore. And I'm getting that glow you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
languaging is so important, and belief and thoughts are so important. So thanks for bringing that up. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you're finding this podcast to be valuable, if you're learning a lot, please share it with your friends and family members. And please consider leaving a 5-star review at ratethispodcast.com/ThriveState. That review is really going to help the show grow. And if you haven't already, pick up a copy of my book, Thrive State, at thrivestatebook.com. I would love to connect with you on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn at Hien Vu MD. Remember, you are your best medicine.